I'm gonna go off the internet basically for a month, and it's gonna feel so good. So overall, I think that my experiment has been very successful. I've felt like I really needed to take this break, and it has done me good, and I'm not sure how I feel about social media in the future, and that's something that I'll have to figure out. Hello everybody, my name is Amanda and welcome back to another video, and today is the 1st of December, which means that it's exactly a year ago since I embarked on my 1-month digital detox, and I thought it would be really interesting to sort of recap and look back upon the year since then and see how my habits have changed over the year, because I left that challenge feeling so relieved and so happy with not having Instagram and Facebook and all of that. So things have changed and I want to talk about them, and at the end we might see whether it's time for another digital detox or not. So first I want to talk about the positives, because there are certainly positives, and I remember leaving last of December on such a positive note, and some of the things I have been keeping up. And the first thing is the relief of the notifications, and I remember that being like the major thing. And the first thing that has really stood out to me is the relief of all the notifications, because that has been the most wonderful thing. I have deleted all notifications, so they're all gone, and that's incredible. No notifications except for when someone actually wants to reach out to me, and that has made the world of a difference. So the only notifications I actually get these days are when people want to get in touch with me for something, which means that I'm not getting breaking news or how many likes my Instagram picture's gotten or whatever. It's just when people want to get in touch with me, which is really nice. For the moment, my screen time is actually down from what it has been over the year. It has been very up and down, but it's something that I want to reduce even further. But compared to like the 4 or 5 average I had when I started last December, I'm down to like 2 or 3 now, which is still not ideal. So it's better, but there's room for improvement. And I think the last major positive thing is actually I'm more conscious about my phone and how I use it and how I interact with it. And I think that the #1 thing I'm taking with me is the awareness and the sort of catching myself out when I do things that don't really bring me that much joy. That's something that I've kept up throughout the year, and it's been kind of bad if I'm on my phone and I'm conscious of the fact that I shouldn't be doing this and that it's just eating up my time but not doing anything about it. So overall, I'm still feeling pretty happy about it. There are, however, also quite a few negatives that I have sort of picked up again, bad habits that have just come back, that I tried to combat but then have kind of stuck around. And the first thing is that I feel kind of glued to my phone. I remember saying that I used to forget it in rooms. I used to forget about my phone and I just didn't care about it. Another thing that I also didn't think was gonna happen is that I have grown completely uninterested in my phone, and that's a good and a bad thing, because I kind of forget to bring it to places and I just leave it in another room. I can't say that that's true anymore, because I feel like it's always in my hand or I have to check it all the time, and it just feels like a major stress in my life actually. So in that sense, I don't know what happened, but just like I have my phone on me all the time, and unfortunately I feel like it has again become my #1 source of relaxation. So instead of reading a book, instead of being on my phone scrolling, I have been able to read a book, or I've made myself read a book rather, since I don't have my phone or Facebook at hand. I feel like I am putting my time in towards something that I want to do rather than mindlessly doing something that doesn't really bring me that much joy. Or doing something more productive like listening to an audiobook or a podcast, I will scroll on my phone, and it's the first thing that I do in the morning and probably the last thing that I do at night, which is not great. So I feel like it's so mindless. So I feel like I've again kind of gotten lost in the scrolls, and although I don't have Facebook, the app on my phone, I do access it through Safari, and I feel like that barrier is not much of a barrier anymore. So it's one of my favorites. When I open up Safari, it's like, oh, there's Facebook, so easy to click. So I want to kind of remove that easy access again and take a step back from the scrolling and from the mindless consumption of things. But if we do a breakdown of my screen time Most of my pickups from my phone is actually from messages, because the first thing I do is go on Messenger or my messages or other types of messaging apps like Snapchat. But if you look at the time that I actually spend on my phone, most of it is still social media, and that's just not how I want it to be. I want my phone to be a source of communication so that I can reach out and talk to other people, and I want it to be a source of productivity, and I want the use of my phone to be more mindful again. So I guess the question that I've been asking myself over the last couple of weeks is, do I want to do another detox? And I think the answer is actually yes, because I want to get rid of this sense of dependence on my phone. And I think it'll make it a bit different from last year, and I want to just pick out the things that I really want to change and just remove them for a month, instead of going cold turkey altogether. So for this detox, I will be keeping all of my messaging app. So that includes Snapchat as well. Because the thing that I do enjoy using my phone for is actually connecting with my friends and people that I care about. So I don't see the reason why I would remove that for myself. I'll also keep news, because it's nice to know what goes on in the world, but no notifications, of course. But the point is that I'll be getting rid of all social media, and that includes also things like Pinterest, but mostly Instagram and Facebook, because those are where my time goes, and I want to change that. When it comes to YouTube, I have not really decided how I want to do, because I have reduced my watch time on YouTube quite substantially over the year, but I think I will just have to cut it out, because that's such an easy way of relaxation, and I want to get back to reading books and stuff. But when it comes to things like Netflix, I will be allowing myself to watch things with other people, like Christmas films. So I think focusing on using media and consuming media to connect and spend time with other people, I think that's really valuable. But this sort of mindless scrolling and consumption that doesn't really enrich my life in any way, that's kind of what I'm trying to get rid of. And I hope that another month of digital detoxing will do me good, and I'm actually very much looking forward to it. So with that said, I hope that you may take some of this on board, or that it sparks some thought about your own social media consumption. And I hope that you all have a lovely December, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see all of you guys in my next video. Bye.